Hey everyone, welcome to the Lion's Table. Grab a seat, join us. We're going to be talking about growing your business through government contracting. I'm April, this is Scott.
Hello.
We are the owners of Lion National Corp. We're also married to each other. We run our business from home. We're raising our children. We have a pile of pets at home. It's always a circus. We have a good time and we love to help people. Scotty, let's talk a little bit about who should stick around for our content.
Anybody who has a business that sells any product or service, the reality is that the government buys what you sell. And we're trying something a little bit different here. This is new. We work as consultants. We help businesses coast to coast penetrate these market sectors, but there's so much information that we've got to get out, and there's just not enough time in the day. So we decided that we were going to start this podcast to try and help businesses, not just businesses, individuals as well, who are looking to go ahead and get into the marketplace. We've worked with large companies. We've worked with small companies. We've helped dozens and dozens of businesses over the past 15 years grow their companies. And we just have a lot of information that we got to make sure that we can get out and we can share, because it boils back down to what do we talk about, how we gauge how well we're doing. And it's never a monetary thing. It's always about how many families we're feeding. And
we talk a lot about feeding families, and that's both in our personal life and in our business life.
Yep.
We are all about impact, and we want to help businesses grow so they can be job creators, and that ripple effect expands. And we talk a lot about feeding families and that impact. And that's really what drives us in our business. So we're going to take all of the information that's out there. We're going to talk about misconceptions about government contracting. We're going to help synthesize that data and really connect the dots. You know, you can go to seminars. I follow a lot of these sources where there's webinars and conventions that you can go to, and there's a lot of talk about government contracting. But I often hear people say, okay, but now what? So
Right.
The information is there, but there's not actionable steps, and we really want to change that. Scotty, let's talk about our backgrounds and why we're in this space, and what we know about government contracting.
So it's really evident. I mean, again, we were in contracting for years and years, and in the 2007, 2008
recession.
I was going to give it another word, but that'll work. We just saw how many businesses were impacted by that. And anybody who was in a commercial marketplace, if your business was wholly and solely in there, we saw how devastating it was to small businesses, medium-scale businesses, and how even large companies were affected by it. The re-reviewing all of the scenarios that we saw, the people that we knew, the networks that we were in, the businesses that were most effective at weathering that economic change were businesses that had their market diversified between the commercial, public, and government sector. That was very eye-opening at that time, and we decided that we were going to work within that environment with businesses and help them to penetrate that market so they could create sustainabilities.
Absolutely. And we did, think long and hard about what are the strategies for that sustainability. How do you weather, an economic storm? We'd like to help businesses insulate themselves from the wild market conditions. Of course, we're seeing a lot of that right now. So we just want to take that lack of information that people have and help with the sustainability.
Listen, I need to the truth is take things and information that we have that we've actually experienced taking businesses through their development in the government marketplace and turn that into actionable steps for people so that it's not something that's not tangible for them, so that we can actually help you to effectively and a timely manner understand the process so that you have the ability to expand your business's market sector. It's another vehicle. It's another vehicle for you to be e- e- exposing your clients to be developing your product and service, growing your company, feeding your families, and most importantly, impacting your community.
Right. And often, I'm glad you said that, because when we talk about government contracting, people really think about the federal government. But don't forget your local state government, your school districts in your community, the municipalities. That's really a great way to have an impact
Yeah.
right in your own community. And there's so much opportunity out there. Again, regardless of what whatever you're selling, whatever your product or service
I always say
is.
to our new clients, and we're talking to them, it's look around the room you're in. Everything you see, the government buys. Go outside. Everything you see,
The government
buys.
It's truth.
How does that impact your business?
So, in future episodes, we'll be talking about those actionable steps and clarifying this environment and how to operate and navigate. We're
We'll
going to
talk about how the government has set-asides that are designed around small businesses, whether you're a new small business, whether you're a minority business, whether you're economically disadvantaged business, a service-disabled veteran or veteran-owned or woman-owned or Native American. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's so many programs that are in place. This is one of the things that's really difficult for people to feel like they're walking a path that is effective for them to
Absolutely.
go ahead and turn their businesses into a profitable company in that environment. It's hard sometimes.
Absolutely. We're going to talk a lot about vocabulary and
Oh,
acronyms. We could probably devote a whole episode just to acronyms. When
Yeah.
you get into government contracting, it's going to feel overwhelming. We're going to help you with that. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have data experts. We're going to talk a lot about data mining and synthesis and what you can do with that data, because the government does make public.
yeah. We'll bring in contractors, vendors, suppliers, so that you can you can hear us talk to other people who are actively working in that environment. There's a whole lot of knowledge that comes from tips and tricks. It's shortcutting your way through the process by learning from other people.
And it's good to hear the perspective of all the parties involved.
Yep.
So we'll have procurement experts on the government side. We'll have contractors that have found success in this market.
Yeah.
So we'd really love you to join our pride. We are Lion National Corp. We're building an active community of leaders. It's growing every day. We really want a space where business leaders can come together and ask questions and share success stories or strategies that have worked for them, maybe things that haven't worked for them, and bounce ideas off of each other, find opportunities within the network. It's growing. We've consulted for probably 225 companies across the country in various capacities, and we would love to have you join us and give us some feedback.
Yeah, I was going to say, as this podcast is growing, I want to be able to respond to your questions as you hear some of the things that we're saying and how it might relate to you. And if you just need a little bit more in-depth dive on something, post the question. Even if we can't do it in the podcast, we're going to try and respond and make sure, because the whole goal here is to get information across and make sure that people have some clear understandings on how to process through this. It's not as complicated as everybody thinks. It just takes a little bit of time and effort, and your company can benefit from it like so many other businesses do. And That's what we're trying to help
Right.
here.
So be sure to stay connected. Follow our podcast. Coming up, we'll have the next episode where we'll get into a little more detail about these subjects. We have a newsletter. You can go to our website, lionnational.com, and sign up for our newsletter or fill out our contact form. Let us know who you are and what kind of business you're in. You can find us on LinkedIn at Lion National Corp, and you'll find both of our personal LinkedIn pages attached. And we'd just love to have you along for this ride. So for every episode, we're going to close out with a quick true and false. Just a couple of fun little things.
I'd like to be able to include listeners' questions in this too, because it's going to be helpful.
That's a great idea.
So go ahead, you
So
start.
today, true or false, Scotty, government contracting is too difficult or not worthwhile for the average mom and pop small business.
Yeah, completely false. The government has so many programs that are in place specifically for new businesses, startups, existing businesses. There are mandates for government to spend money with small businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah. April, true or false? Margins in the private sector are higher than the government sector.
That's false. We find that, of course, margins are going to vary based on all kinds of conditions and what specific product or service you're selling. But margins in government contracting are absolutely competitive and often higher than they are in the private sector, and it's a guaranteed pay client.
Right. Yeah.
True or false, Scotty? The federal government consistently meets its spending goals for small businesses.
Actually, that's true. That's true. So here's our first acronym. The FAR, Federal Acquisition Regulation, states that the government has to meet a small participation goal. It varies on contract by contract, but the average is 23% of government funds spent on contracting services goes to small businesses, and the truth is they've actually exceeded that in definitely the past 5 years.
Now, there are individual minority categories, women-owned
They're lacking
businesses,
but
where those goals aren't always met. But overall, for small businesses, which is the whole point, is we want to channel funds into small businesses and the communities that they serve.
and we want to teach more people how to penetrate this market.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the one that I wrote down, and this is not business related. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. April, true or false? You've been charged by a 2,000-pound buffalo, a 20-pound screaming peacock, and a 19-foot hammerhead shark.
All three of those are true. Those three animals all were trying to kill me. They did not succeed. Two of those were in the Keys. One of those was in Badlands National Park when I was about 9 years old. Yep. That
Okay.
closes us out for today. Stick with us, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.